Welcome to Sunshine State of Mind, where we talk about what's fun under the Florida sun. And today we're going to visit Animal Kingdom at Walt Disney World Resort. First opening its doors in 1998, Animal Kingdom was the last park to open at the resort. And you may already know that it's also the biggest of the 4 parks at Disney World. But here's 10 things you might not know about Animal Kingdom. Number 10. It's huge. I already mentioned it's the biggest park on the property, but maybe you didn't know just how big. At 403 acres, Animal Kingdom is by far the largest of all 4 parks at Walt Disney World, and the largest Disney park in the world. You could even fit all of Epcot and the Magic Kingdom on top of its footprint. The Kilimanjaro Safaris ride alone is 110 acres, which sits on more land than all of the Magic Kingdom's 107 acres. That's one ride larger than an entire theme park. You could squeeze nearly 4 Magic Kingdoms inside Animal Kingdom. Number 9. The Tree of Life. One of the first things you'll see after entering Animal Kingdom is their center park icon, the Tree of Life. It took 10 artists and 3 Imagineers working full-time for 18 months to create the 325 individual animals in the Tree of Life. Sculptors had between 6 and 10 hours to create and finish each animal before the plaster hardened, and then had to attach the tree's 103,000 leaves individually by hand. Now I just love this part. The tree was actually built on an old oil platform that was repurposed to use as the tree's frame, because it's strong enough to hold up all that plaster and sturdy enough to stand up to the occasional Florida hurricane. So yep, ironically in a park that's all about being green and celebrating the environment, there's an old rig once used for drilling oil supporting that huge tree. Well, I guess that means they're recycling though, right? Number 8. Keeping those lions cool. If you've ever gone for a ride on the Kilimanjaro Safaris, you might have noticed that the lions are always usually hanging around roughly the same spot, atop some rocks in the savannah. Disney wanted to make sure guests would always be able to get a good view of the lions while making sure the big cats were also comfortable. So Disney Imagineers installed a cooling unit under those rocks with vents that pump out cool air all day long. The lions quickly figured out this would be a great place to hang out during hot summer afternoons, and also gives the riders an up-close and personal view of the lions. And even though they might seem dangerously close while you ride by from the top of that rock, there's a hidden moat between the vehicles and the lion's enclosure to keep anybody from becoming an unexpected snack. Number 7. The bathroom doors. Animal Kingdom is the only Disney park to have bathrooms with locking doors at the entrances. If you even noticed that, you might have thought that's kind of weird, but it's just one more example of the Imagineers trying to think of everything. This is just in case of the unlikely event that an animal like a lion or a gorilla ever got loose and went on a rampage. Guests could just hunker down and lock themselves in the bathrooms for their own safety. And that's just one more reason we really hope nobody over there ever decides it would be a good idea to keep and clone real velociraptors in the park. Number 6. Dino Sue. And while we're on the subject of dinosaurs, while walking through Dinoland USA, you might have noticed a Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton near the entrance to Dinosaur the Ride, and didn't really give it a second thought. I mean, yeah, it's a dinosaur skeleton in a dinosaur-themed part of the park. Not surprising. But that skeleton is actually an exact replica of Sue, the world's most complete T-Rex skeleton that was found in South Dakota in 1990 and is now on display at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago. So if you can't make it to Chicago to see the real thing, at least there's a knockoff version you can look at here. Number 5. Expedition Everest. Disney always wanted to bring a version of the Matterhorn from Disneyland in California to the Florida parks, even kicking around the idea of putting it in the Japan Pavilion at Epcot and basing it on Mount Fuji. This idea eventually morphed into what's now Expedition Everest. It's the largest artificial mountain in the world and the most expensive roller coaster ever built. It stands exactly 199.5 feet tall, because if it was 200 feet or taller, federal aviation guidelines would have required the mountain to have a red light beacon at its peak. That would have ruined the look they wanted, so they built it just shy of that mark. Number 4. Disco Yeti. The Yeti that you encounter at the climax of Expedition Everest was the most advanced audio animatronic character ever created, with hydraulic cylinders used to bring it to life with more power than a 747 jet engine. It used to reach out and look like it was trying to grab riders off the train as they flew by. But in what's probably the biggest engineering failure in Disney history, its foundation broke within a year of opening, and due to some complications involving how it was built into the mountain, it's never been repaired. So now, just to give it the illusion of movement, strobe lights flash on what's become known as the Disco Yeti. So consider yourself lucky if you're among the few who got to experience the Yeti how it was meant to be before it broke down, because Disney doesn't seem to have any plans to repair it. Number 3. Animal conservation. Animal Kingdom isn't just a big zoo or a big theme park, but it's also a genuine research and conservation park for endangered species, including the white rhino. There's only about 10,000 white rhinos left on Earth, and 8 of them have been born at Animal Kingdom. 7 baby elephants have been born here, and 11 giraffes, but the first birth at Animal Kingdom was an African antelope. Number 2. Lots of food means lots of poop. About 250 different species are represented by over 1,000 individual animals at Animal Kingdom. To keep 1,000 animals happy and healthy takes about 4 tons of food a day. That's a 4.5-year supply for the average person. Each week, Animal Kingdom goes through 14,000 pounds of plants and vegetables, 20,000 crickets, and 40,000 worms to keep their animals fed. Nearly 2,000 pounds of manure is produced by the elephants at Animal Kingdom every single day. The manure is collected every night, recycled, and used as fertilizer on the grounds across the entire Walt Disney World resort. And number 1, Beastly Kingdom. You might have noticed that the Animal Kingdom logo has some silhouettes of different real animals and a dragon for some weird reason. Originally, the park was supposed to include a Beastly Kingdom area, which would have featured mythical creatures like dragons and unicorns, but the park ran over budget and that section was never built. But the dragon on the logo remains. That area eventually became the Avatar Land that opened in summer of 2017. Some of the Beastly Kingdom attractions would have included a dark roller coaster called Dragon Tower, a ride based on the film Fantasia, and a hedge maze called Quest for the Unicorn. When this plan fell through, some of the Imagineers working on this part of the park were lured away and hired by Universal Studios to work on the design for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter over there. Thanks for watching. We'd love it if you subscribed, gave us a thumbs up, or left a comment. And be sure to check out these other videos bringing you the best of Florida.